there. This is anonymous safe space, while like literally you can write your answers, but no one can see your name. So tell me, how are you feeling today? This is a question that I have maybe asked million times in my 28 years of experience in helping people suffering from mental, emotional, or any behavioral issues. So let's see, how are you feeling and where, in which country are you currently at? That is always interesting to know who is listening to this. I see Singapore, yes. Thank you. Thank you for coming and joining this talk. Bali. Oh, great. Sanna, the yoga teacher from Bali. Thank you for joining. And Geraldine Pereira. Yeah, good, fine. Everybody good. Zurich, awesome. Switzerland is here.
Just as a simple reminder from my side, sorry, the QR code is the one on the left, and you're able to scan it to ask any questions and to write your answers rather than using the chat. So everyone can see the answers also.
Welcome, India.
Yes, you can go writing in the questions, and then at the end of the session, Karita will be answering all questions.
Yeah. People are texting me now, asking for the Zoom link. So. Okay, so how are you feeling today? There is, by the way, a difference between feelings and emotions, and I'm going to talk about later today what's the difference between feelings and emotions. Feeling good, happy to hear. Happy, yes. Anybody excited? Thank you. Great, and peace. Happy. That's so nice to hear. That is what the therapist always wants to hear. That people are happy, have the peace of mind, and love themselves. Yeah, very nice. Thank you for being excited about this talk. I'm going to talk quite a lot. I'm going to cover as much as I can in 50 minutes, and then we have 10 minutes time for questions and answers. Okay, let me now start introducing myself. So my name is Karita Fischer. I'm a counselor, certified clinical hypnotherapist, and a motivational speaker. But now I want to talk to you about how to deal with trauma. It is important to know this to be able to even save lives. Therapists save lives every day. But how can you become a great therapist or parent, teacher, sibling, friend, to really able to help someone or help yourself? I would say healer's gift is her own wounds. If my life had always been a walk in the park, I wouldn't be able to or even qualified talking about trauma today. See, the thing about me is that what many people don't know, that I'm a mother of 15, a single mother of 15. Okay, one of my children is adopted, but she doesn't have any trauma because she was a newborn baby when I got her to my home. One of my children is biological, and 13 of my kids are orphans in Cambodia, and that is why this topic is close to my heart. Now, when you go into an orphanage, you would think that you can see the suffering in their faces, but no, the kids there live in the present moment. And I often like to ask the older orphans something like, do you have a crush? Do you have a boyfriend? Just to make them smile. And one of my Cambodian kids told me jokingly, Mom, I get so traumatized when I think about my traumas. And I told her to stop thinking about it. And then we just both laughed. But if only the solution was this easy with everyone, but I had to tell you, it can be. So I'm going to educate about powerful techniques, how to overcome trauma now. Chapter 1. So what is trauma and how to understand it? I want to ask you, dear listeners, what do you know about trauma? You can type your answer. Okay, good. Distressing past, yes, that is true. Trauma must have a cause. Something happened, an event that exceeds our ability to cope and overwhelms our nervous system. Beautiful. It's an adverse experience that affects us in the present. Okay, correct. It stays for a long time in the body. Yes. Flight and fight response. Awesome. Death of a loved one. That can cause a really big trauma. That one can learn from it and learn to live with it, and that one never fully heals from it, even though you can get a lot of better, yes, that's true, experience that disturbs us. Wonderful answers. So you're already prepared. Now let me tell you something. First, we need to know how the brain processes a wide range of ordeals like the death of loved one, domestic violence, war, or illness. These events can bring on feelings of danger and helplessness, which activate the brain's alarm system known as the fight, flight, freeze response. The mind tries to defend the body by sending signals. It is the stress hormone cortisol which continuously activates the fight, flight, freeze response while reducing overall brain functioning, leading to a number of negative symptoms. In my work, I want to know what is the opposite of my clients' problems, like what do they want to achieve with therapy. I teach them to let go of the past, to live in this present moment and have faith for a better future. And how to stop suffering is how you master your thinking. Now, let me tell you a story which can change your life to become happier. Visualize this, visualize India, a small village. A boy was walking outside with his grandmother. They saw two dogs fighting on the other side of the street, and the boy wanted to watch that fight longer, so his grandmother told him, we can just sit here on one bench alongside the small street, and they were just sitting there and watching. Grandmother asked the boy, which one of these two dogs is going to win the fight? So the boy thought about the question a while and then answered, maybe the bigger and the fatter dog. And grandmother said, yes, the bigger and the fatter dog is going to win the fight. Then they continued to watch the fight silently for a while, and suddenly grandmother said to the boy these words, there are two dogs fighting inside of you. The boy asked, how? It cannot be true. Grandmother asked him to close his eyes and imagine the two dogs inside of him. And he could see them because children have vivid imagination. Grandmother told, the one dog is the good dog, which brings happiness and all the blessings into your life. The other one is the bad dog with bad ideas, bad thoughts, and if you let him win, your life is going to be miserable. Boy wondered, how can I get the happiness in life and let the good dog win inside of me? And grandmother answered, that is easy. Just feed that good dog more. Give your attention to the special and good things in you. You have a choice about what is your reality, what is your life, and how to live it. And you can choose happiness. You, dear listener in the audience, already chose happiness by coming here today. Keep your focus on what is right in your life, not what is wrong. You have about 60,000 thoughts in a day. Master your thinking, because action follows your thoughts and your feelings. Life is full of ups and downs. Just hope that there are more ups than downs. Hope and believe, have faith. Then you get what you want. Count your blessings, not your troubles, and life will be beautiful all around. Because you focus on what is right in your life and not what is missing, give your attention to the good things in you. Therefore, you are happier and more positively energetic, and you also improve your relationships, and all the blessings of life can be yours. The end of the story. And now let's go back to trauma. Some people subconsciously suffer from trauma, while some are unable to recall a small period. Others are missing entire years in their life. Along with memory loss, other signs of repressed trauma can include low self-esteem, substance abuse disorders, increased physical or mental illnesses, and interpersonal problems. We tend to remember better positive experiences in life, things that were nice, instead of torturing ourselves with traumatic experiences or memories. Trauma is often a subjective experience. Some people are more resilient than others, but that doesn't make the trauma easier to deal with for those whom it hits really hard. A car accident can cause trauma, especially if you have to spend a long time in hospital, or you lost your loved ones in the accident, or you lost your job and ability to work after the car accident. When these people see someone speeding, that can trigger them to get angry. Trauma therapy changes their perspective in this. Instead of hating fast drivers, they can think about other scenarios, like maybe the driver is driving fast because he's in a hurry to rescue someone, or getting, a baby is being delivered. So knowing your triggers is important in healing. Whenever you find yourself having negative, unproductive thoughts or fears or feelings, tell yourself the word stop. Whenever you find yourself having negative, unproductive thoughts or fears or feelings, tell yourself the word stop and change that thought into a positive one, or even better, into 3 positive thoughts. Now let's go to chapter 2. What kind of issues trauma survivors have? And we can start with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. The main difference between PTSD and the experience of trauma is important to note. A traumatic event is time-paced, while PTSD is a longer-term condition where one continues to have flashbacks and re-experiencing the traumatic event. Symptoms of PTSD usually begin within 3 months of the traumatic incident, but they sometimes emerge later. To meet the criteria for PTSD, symptoms must last longer than 1 month, and they must be severe enough to interfere with aspects of daily life, such as relationships or work. People who repeatedly experience traumatic situations, such as severe neglect, abuse, or violence, may be diagnosed with complex PTSD. Complex PTSD can cause similar symptoms to PTSD and may not develop until years after the event. Some of this is still a medical mystery. Now, fear. I just said it. Fear is first a thought. And how to do it, how to control your fear, is tell yourself, stop, and change that fear. Tell yourself, I'm safe. I'm safe. Tell yourself the opposite of your issues. If you are feeling angry or anxious, tell yourself, I'm calm, I'm relaxed, I'm safe. And when we talk about anger, there is appropriate anger and inappropriate anger. Appropriate anger is something that if somebody tells you something what is really mean to try to hurt you or bully you or your loved ones, it's okay to tell them off. You can tell them that I don't tolerate this kind of behavior or the tone of your voice. So that is okay to defend ourselves. But if inappropriate anger is something that we tend to lash out due to our triggers. So let's say you are in a new relationship and you had bad experiences with your previous relationship, and then the new partner may do something that makes you angry, but it is actually not his fault because it was the ex who did these things which trigger you to become angry. So it's not a good idea to punish your new partner. Remember always, we don't live in the past, not at all. We live in this present moment to make the best out of it. And also guilt, there is in the process of improving ourselves, we sometimes have to realize that we were also not always only 100% good people, and then we feel guilty. I have worked with murderers and rapists in 2 big prisons in Finland and Singapore. Those who are not psychopaths or sociopaths, they regret what they did. So I have seen both sides of the trauma, the ones who caused it and the ones who became their victims. Now, depression. Depression, I like to call depressed, low energy. But how to cure depression? You should do things what you really don't want to do. Like I said, low energy, you don't want to go walking outside, getting the happy hormones from the sun, like serotonin or dopamine, but you really should do that because that helps you with the depression. And socializing, even if you don't feel like. And friends can support you with empathy, acceptance, and support without blaming you for your reactions. So self-harm and cutting is actually, it has become, to be honest, like a trend. I see nowadays many teenagers, my clients, who cut themselves or burn themselves with a lighter. So why do they do that? Okay, good question, right? They do it because they are suffering from emotional pain. And that physical pain, what they do to themselves by cutting or burning themselves, distracts them from feeling bad. But obviously that's not the cure. It maybe helps them, to distract that bad emotion or trauma, whatever what was done to them, but it just doesn't really last longer. So often what I do to these clients, I give them a rubber band, and put it around the wrist and tell them that whenever if you want to hurt yourself, harm yourself, start, playing the rubber band. And then I give them a notebook and say, write your feelings, instead of harming yourself. Fatigue, insomnia, yes, trauma survivors, they suffer a lot from this, or nightmares. And here I would like to explain shortly, how do you know if you have trauma? How do you know that you have trauma? That means recurrent, unwanted, distressing memories of the traumatic event, or reliving the traumatic event as if it were happening again, like flashbacks. Upsetting dreams or nightmares about the traumatic event, severe emotional distress or physical reactions to something that reminds you of the traumatic event. These are just some examples. anxiety and tremors, like how can you control them? I'm going to explain soon how the mind works, what is the conscious and subconscious mind. So if the brain is sending signals, like tremors, if you have anxiety, your hands start shaking, then it's the brain is sending signals to your hands, to feel like that. Subconscious mind is trying to tell you something, that now we have this tremor and anxiety, so do something about it. Or headaches, it can cause headaches, and especially for children, stomach aches. Often children who want to skip school, they tell the parents that I have tummy ache, I cannot go to school. So for them it is real. And we don't know often the cause. Maybe they are bullied, maybe something bad happened in school, something embarrassing. Like one of my clients had to pee his pants because the teacher didn't allow and let him go to toilet. And that was so embarrassing that he wanted to skip school, but he was so embarrassed to tell to his parents about it. So he just pretended he has a stomach ache. And grinding teeth, it's a habit. We are always not even aware of these habits, and we tend to grind teeth in the night when we are not really even conscious about it. Or rapid heartache. All of these physical symptoms actually disappear when the mind is in balance. And when the mind is in balance, the body starts healing itself. Focus and concentration becomes harder if you have distractive thoughts, about all the things what was done to you. Thumb sucking, once again, a habit. Some habits we are not even aware of. Let's say I sit in an office and I play with my pen, and I don't even know that I'm playing with my pen. And then somebody tells me that, Karita, can you please stop it? And I'm like, stop what? Oh, did I do that? Okay, I didn't know. So, and bedwetting and many more. But to be able to understand deeper today's topic, I want to explain you how the mind works. So maybe you have seen this picture here now. Sophia, can you show that? Yeah, the mind is like an iceberg. Okay. What do we know is the tip of the iceberg? That is the conscious mind, which covers 10% of your whole mind capacity. And under the surface is the rest of the iceberg, and that I call subconscious mind. So all of these three different parts of the mind, conscious, subconscious, unconscious, they are located in three different parts of the brain, which is psychologically proven and interesting, because normally people just talk about one mind, like what happens to mind when you fall asleep? I tell you what happens to mind when you fall asleep. Unconscious mind does not sleep because it takes care of your bodily functions. Like when you go to bed, you don't have to be consciously aware of it. Am I breathing? Is my heart beating? Because this is the autonomic nervous system. And subconscious mind does not sleep. You know it because the dreams are there. Conscious mind needs the sleep. So let me explain you now a little bit more about the conscious mind. So I'm talking now with my conscious mind to your conscious mind. And like I said, it covers 10% of your whole mind capacity. Everything what you can control, you do with your conscious mind, like what you want to wear today, what you want to eat today. Willpower is there, but sometimes, willpower is stronger. Sometimes it fails. So that's why people come to see me, because the willpower has failed. And there's a slight difference between feelings and emotions. Feelings are the things we can control. If you're feeling blue, and most people are feeling blue, it's normal. I'm not, because happiness to me is just a decision. Every morning I wake up, I say, thank you, God, I didn't die last night. So let's make this a wonderful day. And to stay happy, if somebody asks you, how are you doing? Even if you are having pain or migraines or whatever, when you reply every time, I'm feeling wonderful. The subconscious mind, the mind is so simple that when you repeat it many times, then eventually you start feeling wonderful. So you can try this. It's kind of nice, right? So if you're feeling blue, then someone calls you and says like, let's do something really fun. What do you really love to do? then you're not feeling blue anymore. But if it becomes an emotion, and emotions are deeper rooted at the subconscious level, and the subconscious mind covers, like I said, 90% of your whole mind capacity, those emotions, and if it becomes depression, if it's a clinical depression, that means really long-term depression, those people don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. If you want to ask them to go out, they don't want to. They just they have lost hope for everything, and anger and fears are there at the subconscious level. Also the truth about you, you know, how you see yourself, or the world, or beliefs, your identity is there at the subconscious level. So I call subconscious mind our library. That means everything what you have ever learned is stored there. Like, can you imagine? The brain is made to add, not to forget. That means also all experiences in your life, positive or negative, they are stored there as well. So, you know, let's say when you were born, babies don't have insomnia issues. Babies don't have really traumas. Babies don't have fears. They sleep a lot. You know, when they are hungry, they scream and they get the milk. And then later on in life, people they have issues like insomnia or eating disorders. So if you bring a baby to an airplane, do you think a baby would be afraid of have the fear of flying? No, because baby doesn't know it. But then later on, you know, something happens and people have so many different fears. So what I do, I normally, when I do therapy, I find the cause of the issue. And when I find the cause of the issue, then I can neutralize it and tell them that, look, this happened so many years ago. Now you can really let it go. And then my clients get insights also, like what really happened in my life. So that age regression is actually a cure, going back, you know, taking the triggers away and finding the cause of the issue. So important thing when I explain about how the mind works is between the conscious and subconscious mind, there is so-called critical factor. So if I tell you now something that if you have been telling yourself that I'm shy, okay, I'm shy because I had to give a presentation in school and suddenly I was so conscious about all of these kids looking at me, and then I had studied a lot and made a lot of preparations, and then my mind went blank and I was just standing there feeling stupid. And then maybe later on in life, you had a job interview and you were so desperate to get the job that they didn't want to hire you because you were not confident enough and they saw that you are nervous. So that all triggered you to become shy. But all of these things we can, like I said, reprogram, taking away these triggers. And the critical factor sometimes strengthens, sometimes it weakens the information what always comes to your conscious mind, to that what you have already accepted is the truth about you or the truth about the world. So if you think and you have accepted that the truth about you is that you are shy, then someone tells you that, oh my goodness, like, woman, can you talk something, you know, in a source, it's an example, can you talk something, you know, we are sitting here having dinner and you're just so shy, then in that case the critical factor strengthens your the truth about you that yes, I'm shy. But in case, let's say that you are not racist and someone tells you that, you know what, these people from that country, they are stupid or they stink or whatever, in that case, if that is against your beliefs or values, then critical factor blocks the information, doesn't accept it as the truth about you. And I have mastered you know, the techniques how to get a bypass of this critical factor, get an access to your subconscious mind where the changes have to be made. Albert Einstein, you know, he could use actually 5% of his subconscious potential from his library, and normally we people, we can use 1%. So that is how it works. And now I'm going to educate you about different types of therapies which are great when helping traumatized people. Let's start with NLP. NLP, the magic of neuro-linguistic programming is that your mind is like a filing cabinet, like drawer. NLP can go into your filing cabinet and take special memories that still may be negatively affecting you today and remove their emotional charge. Let's say that you have a memory where someone called you stupid, and that has stuck with you either consciously or subconsciously. So you have now this self-limiting belief which is blocking you from becoming successful. You think you are not smart. That memory creates a state, and that state is on repeat. It is a neural pathway that's repeating over and over again. With NLP, you can go in and it actually will create a new neural pathway. It will also set it in place to make sure that it stays that way, permanent change. It looks like magic sometimes, but it really works wonders. And how can we understand this with our conscious mind, what we experience subconsciously? We cannot, can we? But NLP removes the burden of the past effectively and fast. Let it fade away, let it go. Now, what I would like you to do, look at yourself in the mirror. You can take literally a mirror, like this thing here, or you can just look at yourself here, at Zoom. So take a look at yourself in the mirror now, literally, or a phone, whatever works for you. And realize that you live now in this present moment. If you see yourself blinking, smiling, looking serious, realize that this happens right now. Be mindful. We live here. We live now. This talk will be a memory. All your vacations in the future will be memories. Let's start making good memories. Good. Keep on looking at yourself in the mirror. Now, what I want you to do is just think about 3 different scenarios. Think about three different scenarios in what ways your life is going to get better. Manifest it now. I give you a minute to think about 3 different scenarios in what ways your life is going to get better. Good. Now think about your past. Does it look the same as your future goals? I give you a minute to think about that. Now I would like you to feel the confidence and excitement inside of you that you are now overcoming your past experiences. Now the past seems to become more blurry, not so serious as it was just a moment ago. You are in control of your long-term memory. You are capable of removing, dissolving, and fading out details of your past. This is your own decision. Happiness becomes just a decision for you. I just mentioned mindfulness, which simply means concentrating on living in this present moment. Alpha brainwaves induce feelings of calmness, increase creativity, and your ability to absorb new information. Meditating and practicing mindfulness are some of the most obvious ways to prolong your ability to stay in an alpha state. But for example, if you do hypnosis, we can enter the theta wave. That means our brains are making free-flowing connections and producing more mental images In other words, hypnosis gets us into the theta wave, which allows us to turn inwards and examine our inner world and heal faster. So the next type of therapy is EFT, the emotional freedom technique. Now, Sophie, can you show these tapping points on the slide? Okay, you can see the EFT tapping points here. What we are going to do now, I'm going to teach you this technique right now. I want you to first think about, on a scale from 0 to 10, how do you feel? Let's say that if you think about, the saddest experience in your life, and oh my goodness, 10 is something like, wow, I'm the really saddest person in this whole wide world. 0 would be something like, I'm the happiest person in this world. So what we do, we start with karate chop. Okay, just do after me. Okay, so you can tap. Okay, like this, and then we go and tap here. Then we go and tap our eyebrows. Then the temples or the side of the eye. Then under the eye. Under the nose, under the chin, then the collarbones, and then under the left underarm. And then take a deep breath in. Ask yourself, is this feeling now better? Obviously, it's not yet because I haven't added the text or whatever script to it. So you can see the tapping points there. So let's add this text now to those tapping. Let's do this together. So you can just say it out loud, with me together. I do it twice. Okay. Even though I have had sad experiences in my life, I fully and freely love and accept myself. I forgive myself and I forgive all others. Even though I have had sad experiences in my life, I fully and freely love and accept myself. I forgive myself and I forgive all others. Take a deep breath in. And I hope the number is going lower down. And let's do it one more time. Even though I have had sad experiences in my life, I fully and freely love and accept myself. I forgive myself and I forgive all others. Even though I have had sad experiences in my life, I fully and freely love and accept myself. I forgive myself and I forgive all others. Take a deep breath in. And you can continue doing this as until you get, something, a number under 3. And you can teach this to also, to your friends or whoever needs this kind of help. It really works, and it makes you really happier because it includes many things like I fully and freely love and accept myself just the way I am, and it also includes the forgiveness therapy. But let's continue now to the CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy. It teaches you to master your thinking, change negative thoughts or memories into positive ones. CBT is talking therapy that can help you manage your problems by changing the way you think and behave. The therapist can help the client to find the core beliefs, CORE beliefs. Our core beliefs are informed by our childhood experiences. A core belief tends to be a central belief that is the epicenter for resulting beliefs and actions. It can be limiting or not. Here's an example. The world is cruel. The world is cruel. This can be a core belief for someone, especially with childhood trauma. This core belief is already a limiting belief because it's likely to color what the person looks at or sees. This person may see kindness much less than cruelty. This person may even look for cruelty to reinforce their belief. It's not hard to do either. Just turn on the news. Not much nice thing to see there, is there? So if kindness comes this person's way, they may not know how to accept it, or they will doubt it. Additional limiting beliefs tend to pile up on the top of this core belief. Because the world is cruel, I need to protect myself. To protect myself, I need to stay away from strangers. I need to stay in my own country. I need to always be right, and so on and so on. There are many types of limiting beliefs that build up on the top of such a core belief. It ends up making a rather vast network of reinforcing beliefs. And because people tend to be very committed to the ego identity that is built out of these beliefs, it tends to be quite impossible to show people the truth until something really rattles their cage. Okay, to sum it up, core beliefs are a person's most central ideas about themselves, others, and the world. These beliefs act like a lens through which every situation and life experience is seen. Now, the last therapy method I'm talking about today is EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. Let's digest it. Eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. It is a new treatment in the CBT world that focuses on talking about the traumatic event or memories, processing this information and giving attention to a back and forth movement with the eyes like this. So you follow left, right, the therapist finger, left, right, left, right, left, right. So the purpose is to match the way you mentally process memories subconsciously to help reduce the amount of stress and anxiety related to the memories. The therapist asks you questions like, on a scale from 0 to 10, how bad do you feel? Or think about the trauma and the feelings that are associated with the trauma. Then, now think about positive beliefs about yourself. Then the therapist asks you to cross your arms like this and feel the self-love. That is important in healing, realizing your worth. Self-love, loving and respecting yourself just the way you are. Okay, repeat after me and tap yourself like this. I'm lovable just the way I am. There is nothing wrong with me. There never was. I'm lovable just the way I am. There is nothing wrong with me. There never was. Let's decide right now that you have come to a point in your life where you are preparing to move beyond any blockages to your ability to succeed by letting go of limiting beliefs. You're making a commitment to yourself to focus on allowing yourself to experience the feeling of being a successful person in all areas of your life. You have an amazing ability to attain all your goals with persistence and dedication. Now, what I would like you to do is just relax. Okay, breathe deeply and easily. Breathe deeply, easily, as you focus on the idea of accomplishing all your goals, overcoming any obstacles to your personal success. Use your imagination and visualize yourself as having already attained the goal that you are approaching. Get this picture as clear in your mind as possible. Think to yourself, how does it feel to have attained that goal? What changes in your life occurred as a result of having attained that goal? What feelings are associated with the attainment of your new attributes, such as happiness, satisfaction, peace, or relief? Feel these feelings and realize that you have attained the goal. Go and make everything in this picture a reality right now. Believing in yourself is the most important quality that you can develop in order to accomplish anything that you truly desire in every area of your life and become more successful. We all have unlimited potential, and each one of us has the capacity to accomplish great things and be successful in life. However, Most of us achieve far less than what we are capable of because of our self-doubts and self-limiting beliefs. Your comfort zone is not the place to stay if you want major change in your life and develop absolute confidence. You must change those self-limiting beliefs that have kept you from having what you wanted in the past. Confident people all share common traits. They take risks, they take action. Your limiting beliefs are stopping you from feeling as confident as you can be. Negative limiting beliefs are something like, I'm stupid, I'm lazy, I will never be successful, I lack confidence, I will never have a successful relationship, I'm a loser, I cannot succeed, I'm worthless, I don't deserve to have a fulfilling life, and so on. So those are like those pop-up computer viruses on your computer that have no right being inside of you. And did you know that you can now permanently delete them? Pretend there is a delete button in your mind or brain. Now, eliminate your limiting beliefs to build your self-esteem. Think about what were these self-limiting beliefs which were blocking you. That I remember I used to tell myself, during COVID time, I'm lazy. And because I thought myself I'm lazy, I didn't go and exercise. No, well, obviously, swimming pools were closed, gyms were closed, but I could have gone walking outside. But you needed to wear a mask in Singapore to be able to walk outside. So I just decided to watch Netflix instead. So I told myself I'm lazy. I don't want to do this. So yeah, that was not really great. So then I told myself, no, that is a self-limiting belief. Don't do that to your Karita. You know it better, right? So now I also hope that you realize what were your limiting beliefs, past tense were. Now that you got rid of your self-limiting beliefs, let's protect you from your own emotions or other people. Picture and imagine relaxation spreading like the rays of the sun into your body, gently warming and relaxing, and the relaxation spreading to every muscle, cell, fiber, and bone in your body. And you are enjoying this tranquil and peaceful relaxation in every part of your body. And with every passing moment, this feeling of deep, tranquil, and comforting relaxation becomes stronger. And every cell, nerve, and part of your body knows and enjoys this wonderful sensation. And this wonderful feeling now goes out beyond the physical confines on your body, spreading out beyond the skin to form a protective bubble around you. And you can let this feeling spread far, far beyond your physical body or to keep it close like a second skin. And since this protective bubble is your own creation, you can do with it what you wish. You can use this bubble in any way you want to. The uses of this bubble are limitless. It can act as a filter to filter out those feelings or things going on around you or inside your mind, and filtering situations that are uncomfortable and allowing you to let in those feelings you wish to let in an experience. It can act as an amplifier to help you understand people and to help people understand you. So you are using this protective bubble in any way you choose to use it, and that is okay, because this bubble is your own creation. And when you are using this bubble and enjoying comfort in every part of your body, practicing this makes you a master, and allowing it to spread and allowing it to go beyond the confines of your physical body, and you can experiment with it, making it as large as you like, giving it the color, material, what is your protective bubble made out of, how thick is your protective bubble, and you can use it as a transport to another place or time. And the more you use it, the stronger it becomes. And you can always return to this place of peace, tranquility, and deep relaxation when you go inside of your protective bubble, like a kid hiding. Okay, so for my success stories today, I picked 3 cases. So these are not really very pleasant to hear. So you can just, I don't know, mute me, whatever, or don't listen if this is too hard for you to hear. So I was volunteering in Cambodia in an orphanage, and since they didn't give me any tasks or anything to do, I decided to teach them English classes. Then I realized that there's one girl sitting behind, and she was like an outsider in the class. She wasn't focusing. She was always wearing long sleeves, and I was wondering, it was really hot weather, and I was like thinking, why would she be wearing these long sleeves all the time? So I was thinking that maybe she's cutting herself and trying to hide those cuts, right? Okay, sorry. So then there was another girl who couldn't focus, and then I asked the orphanage leader, and I said, okay, you know what is the thing? What happened to them? I say that they cannot focus, and the one girl is so tired, she must suffer from insomnia. So the leader told me that, yeah, these girls have been child prostitution victims. So what I did, I asked the English teacher of the orphanage to be my translator. So I asked the girls to come into the office and to, like, I said, like, you know what, there are always people who have done something wrong to me, something wrong to you, because I didn't want to let them know that I know what had happened to them. So then I asked them to visualize, close their eyes, and normally I do forgiveness of others therapy, but in this case, they were not willing to forgive. So I said, what do you want to do to these people who have hurt you? And both of these girls said, I want them to die. Then I said, okay, now, just with your eyes closed, visualize that we are digging graves. How many graves are there? 30, 50, fine. Those people who hurt you the most, pretend they are now standing in front of that grave. And now we go together, you and I, we push them into the grave. And now we start throwing sand. We have shovels, and we throw sand on the top of them. And then I asked both of the girls, that was obviously, different session, but I asked both of the girls, where do you want to send them? And both of them said, I want them to burn in hell. Then I said, okay, now they are burning in hell. How do you feel? Great. And when they emerged, from that visualization technique, then both of them, they jumped on my lap and they hugged me. They were crying happy tears. They said, Karita, I don't know what you just did to me, but I haven't ever felt this happy in my life. We don't have so much time, but I just share the gang rape survivor. So this was a girl, a lady now, around 40 years old something, but she was only 12 years old when she got gang raped, and this was like seriously very, very sad story. And as a professional, I cannot start crying with them like the Cambodian Khmer translator was crying when the child prostitution survivors told about their stories. So this gang rape survivor, I had to make her relive it. But I told her that, look, here you are safe. Now we have to do the last time in your life. Now, just tell me what happened, exactly how it was. And then I just neutralized it, and I made her believe that, look, you survived this. If you survived this, you can survive anything in your life. So I did quite a lot of therapy with her, and she felt really much better about it. Okay, let's start now the audience question and answer session. So if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer.
The questions are actually at the end, so there's a slide where you will see all the questions.
Oh, okay. I just want to say that if this was a physical training, I would ask someone to volunteer. What I would do is I would tap your right knee and ask you to think about your trauma or fears. Then I would tap your left knee and ask you to think about your happy place or safe place or the thing you love the most. Then I would keep on tapping so that the mind is programmed to associate trauma when I tap your right knee and associate it with happy feelings when I tap your left knee. Then confusing the mind by starting to tap tap the right knee and asking you to think of the happy and safe place, and vice versa. So I just want to say at the end that remember to do anything that makes you happy unless it's illegal, immoral, or unhealthy for your body, mind, or your spirit. So can we now go to this end of this session, because I have actually covered everything. That was quite fast, but
So here are the questions that they've asked you.
yeah. So a second, I tried to make it bigger. Oh, there are so many. My family members passed away one after another. I'm scared. Is this normal? Thank you. It is normal. Your feelings are normal, dear. So if you are afraid that something, some people think that, am I cursed? These things happen to me all the time. I would like to tell you that you're not. I'm sorry to hear that. So, but remember, time heals wounds, and yeah, if you need any help, obviously contact Safe Space and I can help you with that. Then, is growing up in a home seeing domestic violence happening to the women in the household classified trauma, or is it generational trauma? Well, can be both, right? Can be both. It can go from generation to another. Often when people select partners, they tend to go. I have had many of my clients where the father was narcissistic, abusive, and then they chose a husband who was exactly like father because they didn't know anything else, any difference. And then after that, they got divorced, and then she chose another narcissistic one. And what are the easiest steps to do away with trauma? Easiest steps is just like, if you, like I said, like if you find yourself having these negative thoughts about these traumatic events, tell yourself stop. Tell yourself stop now. I'm safe. I'm secure. And this happened so many years ago, or whenever, even if it happened 1 minute ago, it already belongs to the past. So just let it go. Just like, adopt this kind of attitude of ongoing forgiveness towards people who hurt you. Like just like forget, ignore, and even though the mind, it's made like you cannot forget things, but you can like think about less about these traumas. Like, for example, you can put those things into a soap bubble and take a deep breath in. Well, we can do it right now. So let's think. Let's say that you have this. You have this traumatic, this emotional feeling or thought. Then what you do is take a deep breath in, blow that thought or that fear, out of your mind. Then take a second deep breath in, escape in your mind to a happy place, happy place, happy place. That distracts you from having issues in that moment when you are feeling that, that traumatic event. Then take a third deep breath in, hold it for 3 seconds, count down 3, 2, 1, tell yourself, relax, I'm safe, I'm calm, I'm relaxed. Because the more oxygen the brain gets, the calmer the mind becomes. So that is a cure for anxiety and anger too, the 3 deep breaths techniques. Okay, what is the youngest age in which a child could have a traumatic experience? It can even start in the mother's womb. So, okay. In generational trauma, more of a DNA memory in the parent or grandparents transferred to the child. This is something, like I said, it's a medical mystery. We are not there yet. I cannot say a specific answer to this question. Any others? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I answered this already, right? Growing up in a home, seeing domestic violence happen to the women in the household. Yeah, I think I answered all the questions, right? Yeah.
So this is more of feedback from you guys. The answers won't show, so you can answer honestly, and it's also anonymous, just to remind you. So we would just like to know if the Safe Space webinar was helpful. I'll just give you a few minutes to reply. It's very helpful for us to get the replies so we can better ourselves and improve our services for you. I'll just give you a few minutes for all of you to scan the QR code in the left with your phone. And if you're not able to scan the QR code, you can join Slido at slido.com and put in the password #SafeSpace.
Do we get the recording of this session?
Yes, this session is being currently recorded.
And it'll be emailed to us?
I will post it in social media from Safe Space for all of you to see.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. So the next question is, do you feel more empowered to overcome your concerns after this session? So again, your answers won't be shown and it's still anonymous. So if you are able to help us with this feedback, that would be great. And the same way, scan the QR code. And if you already have scanned it, then you'll have the questions. Okay. And then lastly, so this, if you're able to scan this QR code, it's a new QR code for feedback. This would be very helpful. It would help both Karita and Safe Space to improve our presentation skills or our webinars, to just see if it was interesting, what else would you use, or what else would you want us to apply in our webinar. It would be very helpful. So this will only take for everyone just a few minutes. So please scan the QR code. And then finally, if you enjoyed the session with Karita, you are able to scan the QR code again in the top right-hand corner, or find her at Safe Space under Karita. And here's a 10% discount. So all of you take a screenshot or just save the discount. It will give you a 10% discount whenever you book a session with Karita. So thank you everyone for joining, and thank you for taking some time of your day to join the session.